If you're new here, let me catch you up to speed. About a month ago, I got the MetaQuest 3, and I had one question on my mind going into the video. Is it finally time? Is VR finally worth buying into? To sum that video up, yes. I mentioned that straight out of the box, I didn't really feel the need to upgrade anything right away. However, there was definitely some accessories I'd probably be wanting in the future, biggest one being hand straps, and I asked you guys to let me know of any recommendations you may have. And you delivered, big time. Everything from new head straps to controller grips to VR placemats. So I've got quite a few things coming in the mail this week, and I want to find out whether you're new to VR like me, maybe buying a late Christmas present for somebody, or maybe you've been in the game for a while but you've got some extra cash burning a hole in your pocket. What are the best accessories for your Quest 3? So let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Ben. I make videos about tech that I find cool and interesting, and today we're taking a look at some Quest 3 accessories. I mean, most of these you can probably use with any VR headset. It's just a matter of buying the accessory that corresponds with the headset you have. But anyway, first thing that I got in is a new facial interface. I went with the one from KIWI Design. We'll definitely be talking a little bit more about them later. But I grabbed this one off Amazon for $19. I was torn between this and the AMVR one. I chose this one simply because it was cheaper, but I felt like I needed a new facial interface for two reasons. First was I recently readjusted the distance the headset was from my eyes, and when I did that, it made this little gap in between my cheek and the bottom of the headset, which kind of let some light leak through. Not a big deal in mixed reality games, but when I was deep into a VR experience, it kind of ruined it every once in a while. I would be able to see like my cat walking by or something. And second reason, where I live right now, it is freezing outside. So I've been utilizing VR workouts, and it's actually been a really good workout. I was really skeptical about working out in VR, but for a 30 to 45 minute workout in the morning, it does the job for the winter time, at least when I can't get outside for a run. But my headset gets super sweaty, so that's where this bad boy comes in. The pads are leather, so they should do a little bit of a better job at blocking out some of that light that's leaking through that I mentioned with the stock facial interface, and it also just makes them a hell of a lot easier to clean than the cloth one. Now, I mentioned in my original video that I didn't necessarily feel the need to run out to the store immediately to buy a new head strap. It was comfortable enough at the time, and that still stands true. However, as many of you stated in the comments, a new head strap is going to make a world of difference. So KIWI Design actually reached out to me and offered to send a little care package out after I had already bought the facial interface. So I've got two head straps coming in tomorrow along with something else, and we'll talk about the differences between the two and why you might want to choose one over the other. Alright, so we got a couple different head straps here. First is the H4 Boost with a battery pack, and the second is the K4 Boost with the battery pack. Main difference, the H4 Boost is a Halo style strap. So if you're unfamiliar, Halo style just means it sits on your head like, well, a halo. It clamps down on your forehead and the back of your head rather than clamping on your face in the back of your head. So it relieves a lot of pressure from the front of your face for people that don't like the feeling of like goggles. I've been testing both of these out, and I will say the H4 overall is a lot more comfortable. You know, it makes sense. There's no pressure on your face anymore. It's all on your forehead and the back of your head. It's definitely a bit more finicky than the K4 just because you have an adjustment on the front for the actual height of the headset in relation to your forehead, an adjustment on the back for tightness, and the strap in the middle for how tall your head is. But once you do get it in the ideal spot, you can barely even feel that thing on your face at all. However, I probably would recommend the K4 if you plan on being more active. And even though it's a little bit less comfortable, I actually prefer this one over the H4. So it is a standard head strap, not a Halo design, so it does clamp to your head from the front and the back like goggles would. But because of the extra padding on the back and on the top, it's way more comfortable than the standard head strap was. And I just prefer this because I feel like it holds it onto my head a little bit better than the Halo style. With the Halo, the VR headset can kind of wobble around a little bit when you're moving your head, but with the K4 Boost, this thing is on there. It's not moving an inch. And both of these actually have a battery pack included that can provide an extra 2 to 2.5 hours of battery, giving you like 4.5, 5 hours overall. And I should mention too, they sell these without the battery pack as well if you don't feel like you need extra battery life. But you might have noticed we also got some new controller grips from KIWI, which if you did watch the last video, you'll know is my biggest complaint about this headset. Holding the controllers was just kind of awkward to get used to, and having some knuckle grips like this makes things so much better. The controller just kind of rests in your hands and your fingers can just lightly sit on top of everything without feeling like you need to squeeze it. What's really cool though about these grips in particular is they have this little battery compartment. So you replace the actual battery cover that's on the Quest 3 controller with KIWI's, and it leaves the battery compartment open, but then when you put the controller grip on, it has this little rubber door that seals shut so the battery stays safe. And then when you need to switch out the batteries for the controllers, you can just pop it open and easily do so. Pretty clever design. Now that pretty much wraps up my upgrades for like quality of life stuff. But the accessory that surprised me the most in the comments that I definitely never would have thought of is this, a Playmat. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's been nice to be able to feel where the center of the play area is with my feet. I can't tell you how many times I'm in VR and I end up just playing in like the corner. So aside from keeping my floor dry from getting all sweaty in the morning, it's nice to be able to center myself without having to enter pass-through mode or take the headset off. They're like 20 bucks on Amazon, but I went to the local TJ Maxx and found one for only $8, so it's worth taking a look there if you have one. Just be careful if you have any animals because it is very easy for them to poke holes through here. Alright, so we've got our comfort down pat. Covered some of the more expensive stuff. Now, if you really got some money burning a hole in your pocket, here's a few last minute things you can grab that'll really set you up for success. Stocking stuffers, if you will. Rechargeable batteries. I don't play often enough that I'm burning through batteries, but I know that eventually the cost will add up, so I just grabbed a spare pair for the controllers. A pack of these lens cleaning cloths if you don't have them already, especially if you're working out in here, some sweat can get on the lenses, you lose an eyelash, you gotta wipe away. A carrying case. I don't plan on traveling with this too much. I am going on vacation soon and plan on bringing it, but honestly, it's mainly just going to be more helpful for me to have one spot to put all my accessories and all my VR stuff. And lastly, if you wear glasses, some lens protectors might not be a bad idea just to protect from your glasses scratching the lens on the inside. But those are some of the best accessories you can buy for your Quest 3 or 3S. You know, obviously this is brand agnostic. I tried not to go too deep into the actual brand name stuff. I know I mentioned KIWI design a lot, but there's also tons of other brands out there that make some very similar products. I can't try them all, but I hope this at least gave you an idea of what kind of products to look for. The common theme though that I've seen across pretty much every post is to go with the third-party stuff. The meta-printed stuff seems to be a little bit overpriced, like you're paying for the brand name. There is one thing though that I couldn't find a third-party alternative for, and that's the open facial interface, where it has no sidewalls to it. So if you're playing in like mixed reality, the only real thing in your way is the actual headset itself, which is pretty thin. I'm not like dying to get one, but if anybody has any recommendations, feel free to let me know. And I also want to know, what are you guys playing? I finished Batman Arkham Shadow. That game was incredible, and I'm honestly a little bit worried that I've ruined it for myself going forward because I played like the newest, most advanced game, and now I have to go backwards and play some older games. I've already downloaded Half-Life Alyx, probably gonna hop into that as soon as I wrap up this video, but let me know of any others that you guys recommend. I know that Metro game came out, and I think there's a new Alien game as well. But if you made it this far, really appreciate you guys for stopping by. Questions, comments, constructive criticisms, drop them down below. And yeah, thanks again for all the support lately. Really appreciate it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.